I'm back. I got cash in the bag, baby I'm back. Put a rock star on the side, I'm moving up on the attack. Baby I'm back, I just wanna get caught up.
Part 1.
Jack is on his way to Margaret's house party. He is phoning her for directions. First, you will have some time to look at questions 1 to 5. Now listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 5. Jack has got lost on his way to Margaret's party. He is phoning her for directions.
Hello, is that Margaret?
Yes, who's speaking?
Margaret, it's Jack. I think I'm lost. I can't see a signpost and...
Jack, so where are you now?
Well, I'm a bit confused about the directions, but I'm at a T-junction.
What can you see around you?
I can see a pub on the corner.
Can you see the name of the pub?
Wait a minute, let me see. It's hard to see in the dark. Yes, I can read it now. It's called the Lion's Head.
Oh, the Lion's Head. Okay, well then you're not too far away. Go straight ahead through the traffic lights to the next T-junction.
Sorry, I didn't hear you. What did you say?
I said just go through to the next T-junction.
Okay. Now what?
Well, there's a park in front of you and a large 2-story building on the corner.
Yes, I can see them.
Okay, so now turn left. Hang on, you're coming up the street, so you'll have to turn right.
Okay, got it. What's the name of your street?
It's Wesley Street, Wesley, number 70. We're the 5th house on the left. You should see a red letterbox and some bushes in front of the house.
Okay, 5th house, number 70. I should be there soon. Am I late for the party? It sounds like things are happening there.
No, it's only just started.
That's good. I should be there in the next 10 minutes. See you soon.
Jack hangs up and walks on. 7 minutes later, he calls Margaret again, as he still can't find the house. You now have some time to look at questions 6 to 10. As you listen, answer questions 6 to 10.
Who's speaking?
Hi, Margaret. It's Jack again. Sorry to bother you. Listen, would you mind doing me a favour?
Of course, what?
Could you tell Mike I have got his camera? I've tried to send him a text message, but it's not going through.
Oh, he's not here yet.
Oh dear, he said he'd be there early. He might be lost too.
Okay, I'll call him. What's his number?
0482 563379.
Oh, so that's 0485.
No, 0482 563379.
Okay, I'll call him right away. But where are you now?
Well, I'm in your street, but I still can't find your house. I can't see the numbers very clearly, or a red letterbox. It's pretty dark. I thought you said it was easy to find.
Oh, okay, wait there. I'll come outside and get you.
All right then, and don't worry about calling Mike. I'll try to call him now. Hang on, there's someone coming down the street. It looks like Mike. Oh, and I can see the letterbox now. It was hidden behind a bush. See you soon.
That is the end of part 1.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Now turns to part 2. Part 2.
You are going to hear a talk given by Madeline. She is going to introduce the recreational facilities on campus and in town. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 20. As you listen to the talk, answer questions 11 to 20.
Well, good morning, everybody. My name's Madeline Stewart, and I'm here to tell you about the recreational facilities available on campus, and also to tell you something about what the town has to offer. You may already know that your students' union membership also includes membership of the sports union, which provides a range of sporting and recreational facilities on campus, much the same as those in most British universities. The sports union has football, tennis, and cricket teams in local competitions. And really, most sports are catered for in some way on campus, even if they're just social matches. In the building itself, there are fitness classes and a full gym, including weights. The sports union can also provide cheap tickets to some major sporting events. And to keep you up to date with everything available, there's a weekly newsletter distributed around the campus. You should check this to find out the names and phone numbers of the contact people for each sport or activity you're interested in. Yes, did you have a question?
Yes, apart from what you've just said, does the sports union offer individual help in any of its activities, for example, in getting fit and healthy?
Yes, we do. The sports union has a fitness assessment clinic every Friday, staffed by the resident sports trainer, who can provide advice on the best program for you and refer you to various charts. I'm sure you all realize that for any medical assessment or health problem, you should go to the University Medical Service. The sports trainer can also advise you on a suitable training program using the weights. And now on to Ashbury. For a town of its size, Ashbury has some unusually good leisure and sporting facilities, most of which are near the center of town and easily reached by bus from this campus. There's a new, well, almost new, Olympic-sized swimming pool. That's not quite in the central town area, but it's only a 5-minute walk from the bus stop. Above the pool, there's a high-tech fitness center that any of you more serious fitness lovers would need to check out. Then, in the center of town, there's a sporting complex called the Anderson Center, which contains squash courts and facilities for a number of other indoor sports, such as basketball. And just around the corner from the Anderson Center, in the main street there, is an indoor bowling alley. All of these facilities are listed in the weekly newsletter, so I encourage you all to look through it and...
That is the end of part 2.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Hear a conversation between a research student, Jeremy, and his supervisor. They are talking about the process of having a research project published in a journal. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 25. Listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 25.
So, you're nearly ready to submit your article to an academic journal, are you? Yes, I think so. I just wanted to go over all the things I need to do before I submit it. And then I wanted to go over the submission process with you.
Great. So, firstly, you need to write an abstract. Make sure it's short and concise.
Of course. I forgot all about that. And what about key words?
Yes, a lot of students overlook this part and just jot down whatever comes to mind. But take some time to make a list of keywords that are accurate and relevant.
Okay. Another thing. Could you have a look at my article before I submit it?
Absolutely. Actually, at least 2 senior staff members should always read through a final draft before submission. Do you mind if I give it to Professor Johnson to have a look at as well?
Not at all. I'd be glad to have the feedback.
Do you know which journal you want to submit to yet?
Not yet. I have a short list of about 3 that I'm interested in.
Make that decision soon, because you'll need to adjust your article so that it matches the style guide of the journal you are submitting to.
I bet that can take a while.
Yes, but after that you are just about ready to submit. One more thing, you'll have to sign the copyright form, just confirming that it's your own work, and then you're good to go.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 26 to 30. Now listen and answer questions 26 to 30.
Now, the submission process. How does it work exactly?
Well, the first thing is to just send it off. You've got to send in the manuscript before anything else can happen.
Sure. And then should I call to check if they have received it?
No need for that, no. All you have to do is just log on to your email regularly, because you will get a submission confirmation once they have processed the manuscript.
And that will have comments on what they thought of it?
No comments yet. That email is just to let you know they have received it. The next stage is what is known as peer review. This is when experts in the field review your manuscript and decide whether to accept it.
They'll never accept me. I'm only a master's student.
Don't worry about that, Jeremy. It's all done through a double-blind method. That means that whoever reads your manuscript has no idea whether you are a grad student or a Nobel Prize laureate. They'll only be judging your work, not you.
Well, that's good to hear. And then what, once they've made their decision?
Well, there are 4 possible outcomes. You might get an acceptance, but a first-off acceptance is very, very rare. Don't pin your hopes on it. You could also get a rejection, but these don't happen very often either. I don't think this will be a problem.
What do you think I'll get?
If you're very lucky, you'll get a conditional acceptance. This means that they've accepted the article and it will be published, but you need to tweak a few things first. A sentence here, a heading there, nothing major.
That sounds good.
But to be honest, you will probably end up with a revise and resubmit. This means they are definitely interested, but you will need to rework the paper before it's accepted. The necessary changes will be outlined by the reviewers.
Okay. So I just fix the things that need changing and present it again?
Yes, but include a cover letter that discusses the changes you have made. The same goes for a conditional acceptance, actually. It helps the reviewers see that you've taken their criticism seriously.
That is the end of part 3.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Now turns to Part 4.
Part 4.
You'll hear a lecturer talking to students about sport in Ireland. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 33. Now listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 33.
Now, today we're going to be finding out about the most popular sports in the Emerald Isle. That's Ireland, of course. Can you guess what they are? Well, there are these two lesser-played games, a form of rounders and Gaelic handball. But we'll start with one which is perhaps over 3,000 years old, arriving in Ireland with the Celts, some claim. That may be a slight exaggeration, but I consider it to be the fastest field game in the world, and it goes by the name of hurling. Well, that's what it's known as in the English-speaking world anyway. So, what do you have to do? You've got 15 players on a team, one of them the goalkeeper. Each one has a stick called a hurley. Here you are. I've brought mine along. Had it since I was at school. This is what it looks like, and basically you have to get this ball, called a sliotar, that's S-L-I-O-T-A-R, so it's not spelt the way it's pronounced. You hit it into the net for 3 points, or you can hit it over the net for 1 point. The goal looks like the letter H, with the net under the crossbar. The goalie has a bigger stick than the others to help keep the ball out. You can also catch the sliotar and run with it for 4 steps maximum, or bounce it on your stick. Is that clear to you all? I'll be showing you a video a bit later, so you can see what a game actually looks like. You might like to think of it as a mixture of lacrosse, hockey, and baseball. Oh, and it's played by women too, but it goes by the name of camogie in that case.
Before you hear the rest of the talk, you have some time to look at questions 34 to 40. Now listen and answer questions 34 to 40.
I'll give you a bit of the history, shall I now? Generally, the golden age of the game is considered to be the 18th century. But systematic rules were first agreed and drawn up at that great shrine of learning, Trinity College Dublin, in 1879, founding the Irish Hurling Union, closely followed just a few years later by the formation of the Gaelic Athletics Association. With greater organisation last century, the All-Ireland Hurling Championship got off to a flying start, and I'm proud to say that my own native city of Cork has won more than 20 titles over the years. But then, so have Kilkenny and Tipperary. Is it only played in Ireland? No. Well, it is the only country with a national team at the moment, but you may be surprised to discover there are hurling clubs in London, as well as in America and Argentina, to name just a few. The other game I'd like to take a little time to introduce you to is Gaelic football, which is played on the same pitch as hurling with the same number of players, but there's no net. You just have to get the ball over your opponent's goalposts. And you can do that by kicking or punching the ball. However, you're not supposed to do that to the players, I might add. Imagine it as a combination of soccer and basketball. But in my opinion, it's a more exciting spectacle than either of those. Excuse my bias, if you will. It's also very popular with women. In fact, there are more women's teams than for any other sport. Whether despite or because of the physical contact involved, I wouldn't like to say. They do play a shorter game, 60 minutes, rather than the men's 70. So, let's have a look. If we can have the lights down, I'll see if I can get this technology to work.
That is the end of part 4.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
This life I'm crazy, I'm mad, doing no cap. Only God wants you, better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby I'm bad, baby I'm bad.
I just wanna stay bad, stay mad. Chip on my shoulder cause they treat me like an outcast. I ain't gonna take that, stay back.
And that throughout the world today. Throughout the world, meaning the whole world. In the interest of public health, government should ban cigarette and other tobacco product. To what extent do you agree or disagree? The question is whether government should ban cigarette or tobacco products or not. So this is very nice essay, expected essay you might find in your real exam. And this is how I have written main body introduction. Many today are calling for a complete ban. Many people, it means you can write, or many people, or a section of society, or many people today are calling for means they demand a complete ban on tobacco related product due to their health effect, because it has, tobacco products have catastrophic effect. So because of its ill effect, they demand for complete ban. In my opinion, since tobacco offers few tangible benefits, it means there is no discernible benefits. We cannot see any benefit of tobacco products. Such a prohibition would be justified. That's why it should be prohibited. They should be prohibited, and it is justifiable. So I think it's very easy to understand now, and you got how you have to write introduction. This is how I have written main body paragraph 1. Opponents of such a policy claim that it conflicts with individual and economic freedom. They say that it conflicts in create problems with individuals and economic freedom. Firstly, individuals should have the right to live their life as they wish, as long as they are not harming others. They claim that individuals should have the right to live their life as they wish, as they want, as long as they are not harming others. If they are not harming others, if the steps taken by them are not harmful for society, they should do whatever they want. They say this is the basic tenet. Basic tenet means it's fundamental principle that underlies most democratic society. It is in all democratic societies, and smoking cigarette falls firmly within this sphere of an individual rights. And smoking cigarette also falls firmly within this sphere of an individual rights. In sphere in the field of individual rights. Individuals have their rights, whether they want to smoke cigarette, they can. Secondly, there is an economic factor. Second important factor is economic factor. Tobacco companies produce billions of cigarettes a year, providing employment and paying significant taxes throughout the process. Providing employment means tobacco companies provide job opportunities and paying significant taxes throughout the process, and they pay heavy taxes as well to the government. If these companies were suddenly forced to declare bankruptcy and shut down, and if bankruptcy, it means they have no money left. So if they were suddenly forced to, they are compelled to declare bankruptcy, mean they have no money and they should shut down, it would have catastrophic short-term effects on the economy of both developed and developing nations. So it would be disasters for both countries, developing or developed. The economic downsides alone could temporarily do more harm than good. Economic downsides also could temporarily do more harm than good, and it will have more harmful effects than to do something for the welfare of the people. This is how I have written main body paragraph 2. However, tobacco is an almost entirely harmful product in its fact. Yes, it's very harmful product in its fact, and it has catastrophic effect on human being. In contrast to other narcotics such as caffeine, alcohol and cannabis, there is no discernible sensation produced by smoking cigarettes or chewing tobacco. In contrast to other narcotics, it means other drugs like caffeine, alcohol, and cannabis. There is no discernible sensation, there is no noticeable feeling produced by smoking cigarette or chewing tobacco. Tobacco contains nicotine, which is highly addictive. It means people who smoke, they become addicted and endanger the chemical dependency, and it will create chemical dependency as well. It would be dangerous for people, and that is the reason it has become such a common habit. And that's why it has become a common habit, because it does not create any kind of discernible sensation. So people smoke it, and they think that they are not as dangerous as other narcotics such as caffeine, alcohol, and cannabis. Moreover, there are meaningful health problems that for smokers as well as unintended parties through second-hand smoke. Second-hand smoke, it means passive smoking. There are meaningful health problems. That meaningful means there are so many health problems for smokers as well as the people who don't want to smoke, for passive smokers as well. It is common for long time smokers to suffer for a weakened immune system. People who are smoking for a long time, they are suffering from weakened immunity system. Their immunity system is weak. Conditions like emphysema and increased risk for lung cancer. Even it increases the risk for lung cancer as well. These maladies these problems, these diseases place an added burden on the health system and hospitals, and it creates a burden also on the health system and hospitals as well. This is how I have written conclusion. To recapitulate, to conclude, or in conclusion, although banning smoking and tobacco products will preserve society from being addicted to it and becoming ill. There is no doubt, if people don't smoke, if they don't use tobacco product, they will not become addicted and they will not fall ill. Yet the economy will go down, but economy definitely will go down ultimately, and the result of it would be leaving thousands of people unemployed. Thousands of people or lakhs of people will become jobless. So this is very nice explanation of the essays. I think it's very easy to understand now, and you got ideas how you can write very effective essay using different kind of vocabulary and different kind of sentences, complex or compound sentences, mixture of all these things. So this is the end of the video, but don't forget to subscribe our channel, like, comment, and press the bell icon, hit the bell icon so that you can get notification of every new video. Bye bye for now, and see you in my next lesson. Bye.